Sometimes when I'm trying to make a video tutorial, there aren't a lot of referenced photos to do a tutorial from, so I have to create one myself. So for this tutorial, I've had to take the only Spider-Man PS4 reference photo that's out there, really, is this one, like nice clear one here. And I took the Shattered Dimensions image as well. This is from the game Shattered Dimensions. So I had to take these two and turn it into the tutorial that you see in this video. What is going on, Draw to Crew? Ramny here once again with a brand new Spider-Man slash Spider-Verse slash Spider-Man PS4 drawing tutorial for you guys, and today I'm going to be showing you how to draw Spider-Man Noir. Real quick, you guys, if you're brand new to this channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell if you guys like what you see. Of course, here I help you develop your drawing skills by showing you how to draw your favorite characters from comics, video games, TV shows, and movies, etc. Spider-Man Noir is one of those characters that came from a relatively unknown comic series called Marvel Noir, which is Marvel heroes set in the early 20th century, so that's like early 1900s, and reimagined these characters to be set in that time era. And Spider-Man Noir is one of the ones that gained massive popularity because of how cool he is, like appearance-wise, and how awesome the storyline actually is. If you guys weren't aware, Spider-Man Noir's costume is actually based off of like a fighter pilot, an early fighter pilot's costume. So you've got the goggles, a little bit of the beanie, and then you got the turtleneck with the leather vest kind of thing. That's all pilot stuff. So it's a really cool look at what Spider-Man would have used as a costume back in the early days. So yeah, here he is, Spider-Man Noir, and of course he is going to appear in the upcoming game Spider-Man PS4. Are you guys ready to draw? Here are the drawing tools that you're going to need for this drawing tutorial. If you want more information about my art tools, I have a list that you can check out in the description of this video. There are 3 things, again, you guys, to keep in mind as you're watching this tutorial. If you're a subscriber, you already know how it goes, but if not, pause it now to read this list of things that you should know before you begin. Having said all of that, you guys, let's get right to our drawing tutorial. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get started with our Spider-Man Noir tutorial. So let's start with the pose. I usually start with the head, so let's go ahead and do that. I've got my paper in landscape mode, although it really doesn't matter how you situate your paper. So let's go ahead. I'm going to draw a circle right around here. That, of course, is going to be for the head, just like that. Okay, now for this, I'm going to have his head tilted slightly. So I'm going to draw a line. This is going to be the center line, slightly like this. And I'm going to kind of draw a line going straight down. That's going to be the center of our body. He's somewhat symmetrical. So the left is going to be a mirror image of the right. Okay, so now we've got this. Let's draw the face, and Spider-Man's face is the way that I like to draw him anyway, the way that many artists have drawn him, is kind of like an upside down egg, where he doesn't really have a square chin, but it's more rounded. And I prefer that look over any other, to be honest with you. Okay, so now going straight across here, I'm just going to draw 2 straight lines. That's kind of how I want the body. So I've kind of drawn this cross, and this is how I want the arms to situate. So the arms are going to go out this way and this way. So let's do that. And I'm going to start just not too far from the head, a little closer even. And I'm going to start with drawing an oval this way and this way for the shoulders. Okay, so the shoulders are going to come out this way, and then the arms are going to go up slightly and then down like that. Okay, so I'm going to start with that. Now he's got teenage proportions. Actually, you know, to be honest with you, I don't know. I've never read the Spider-Man Noir book, so is he a teenager in the books? Let me know if you guys are familiar with the comics. Okay, very good. Line right here, that's going to be the chest line. I'm going to draw it across like this, okay? And then from here, I'm kind of going to start drawing in here and here. Start drawing in the body, and it gets narrower as you go towards the waist here. So wide here, and it gets narrow, and right around here where the chest is, imagine the chest kind of just going like this. Now the actual Spider-Man Noir costume does not show much of the chest muscle, so we're not too worried about, you know, making it anatomically correct. But it's good to know where the chest is anyway in your drawing. So here you go. It gets skinnier as we go down, right? And I drew this. That's the chest right there. All right, so rib cage. I like to draw the ribs. So think of this as kind of rounded, and then here, just underneath the chest here, like that. Those are the ribs, and then goes down like this, and then right around here is kind of where I want the torso to end. So I'm going to draw a line across. That's going to be the belt line right around here, and I draw 2 lines just like that, and then beneath it, about this far down, that's going to be the crotch area. And so imagine this is going to be a thigh, and this is going to be a thigh. So if I were to draw the underwear line, this is what it would look like, just like that. Okay, so from here to here, going in like an underwear does, and it kind of spreads out a little bit here. There you go. So there's our Spider-Man body right there. Zoom in a little bit. Now you guys can kind of get a good idea of what it looks like. Okay, very good. So now let's kind of start figuring out where the arms go. And I'm going to start right here, just drawing a curve like that here and here. And you notice that it goes back. So it's going to be bent. It's going to go like this and then like this. Okay, so those are what our arms are going to do. Maybe not that extreme, but you get what I mean. Okay, so there you go. All right, now the forearm is going to go across like this. Like I said, it's not extremely bent. It's actually more just a slight change in direction. So here's my angle. It's kind of how you want it to go. Okay, so there, and then right here is where I'm going to cut the wrist off. Not literally, but that's where I want the wrist. Actually, you know what? A little bit closer. There you go. That's where I want the wrist. Same thing over here now. Okay, again, you kind of want this exact same angle like this. Okay, and then right there. Don't make the forearm too long. Don't make the biceps too long either, like this part here, the upper arm. Don't make that too long. Okay, there you go. Let me erase a couple of our marks here, just for clarity. There you go. So here is what I mean. Now I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer to the hand here so that you guys can kind of see what I'm going to attempt to do. And essentially, we've got the wrist here. I'm going to bring the hand down like this, and then another hand out like this. Okay, and then I'm sort of going to create this triangle shape. You guys see what I mean there? Now this one is going to go like this. This is going to be the thumb, and imagine the thumb kind of curving in like that. Okay, so the thumb is bent like this. Okay, now on this side I'm going to draw the index finger going out this way, and then kind of just curling out like this. So it looks a little weird, right? But just be patient. That looks, if we were to leave it like that, it would be very confusing. But let's draw a few more fingers. So here's another finger. You kind of want the same thing. We draw like this, the way that we drew this finger. Kind of want to do the same thing here. Okay, and then again over here, the ring finger is going to be slightly smaller. So now you guys can kind of see what I'm trying to draw is the hand, and then you got the 1, 2, 3, and then the fourth one is actually going to come out as a tiny little point right here. So he's sort of, if I were to zoom out and kind of attempt to, it's like a very Spider-Man-y pose, like this. It's hard to draw, but you know, that's the thing with a comic book. If you guys find it's a little too confusing, you know, you could just put like the fourth finger up here. That's fine as well. But I'm going to leave mine right here. So I'm going to erase that part. So there is the hand. We could spend forever drawing hands, to be honest, you guys. Other hand, same thing. So let's attempt it again. This time, right here, goes this way, and this goes this way. Okay, and then like that. This one actually goes out like this. All right. And then now finger right here. This goes out and then curves like that. Okay, and then you got the middle finger right here. Third finger, the ring finger right here. And then the pinky, I'm going to draw it sticking down right here. There you go. So that is our other hand on the other side. Zooming out now, this is what we've got so far. We've pretty much got the torso and everything. Now let's work on the legs. The legs are going to be somewhat tricky, but okay. So let's use the wrist as a guideline here, and I'm going to find where the wrists are, bring 2 lines down coming from the wrists, because that's kind of where I want the knees to go. So right here, because it sort of starts curving up already. Don't make it curve all the way up like this, but you want it to kind of reach that point right here. So it only sort of slightly goes up, like right from here, it only goes up, right? So here's the belt line. You just want it slightly higher up, right here and here. Okay, let's erase those guidelines. So these are where we want the knees to go. Here is a kneecap, and here is another kneecap right here. All right, right here, let's draw a little bit of a butt shape right there, a little flat here, butt shape. Imagine the butt shape kind of going to the middle of the knee here. So find the middle of that circle or that oval there, there and there. And if it looks a little funny to you guys, just adjust, adjust the shape of the thigh, adjust the lines a little bit to get that proper shape. There. Of course, we got to bring those in, and before I do that, I kind of want to draw where the feet are going to go. So here's one foot right here. Here's the heel, right? And here's the other heel on this side. I'm going to draw it right here. Okay, and then I'm barely going to make it from the heel. It gets narrow. So heel gets narrow and then wide again. And then here's our foot right there. Okay, it goes out. Let me zoom in on that. Heel, this goes out, and then there you go. Okay, next to each other like that. So here's our heel again. We've got our ankle. This is going to be where the ankle is going to go. And then bring this into the kneecap with a curve like this for the calf muscle. Actually, let me bring that in a little bit more. Right there. Okay, so here you go. Find a spot here. There's that curve into the ankle. Here. Okay, and then lastly, this just goes like that. Okay, same thing here. There you go. Now I'm going to make some adjustments because I can kind of already notice that this is a little too long, so I'm going to make that short. So just pay close attention to the proportions. You want to make sure that, things are looking right. So the way that I'm doing now, I'm just looking at it and seeing that, this is a little too long, so I'm adjusting it. So that's a good habit to do, is to take a step back, look at your drawing before it's complete, and see if there's some adjustments that you need to make now that they're easier to fix than later on when you're already filling in the details and you realize, oh, something's a little too long, something's a little too too short, too wide, too narrow. It'll be a little bit harder to fix later on. So here you go, you guys. Barely made it in our sheet of paper here. But that is our Spider-Man. Let's get started with well, after I finish this, let's go ahead and get started with the actual Spider-Man Noir costume. But bear in mind, you guys, now that you have this pose, it doesn't just have to be for Spider-Man Noir. You can also use this for the other Spider-Man, classic Spider-Man, you know, Spider-Man 2099, different suits of Spider-Man, like the big time suit. I don't know if you guys like that one. Miles Morales, Superior costume, Scarlet Spider, all of that good stuff. Okay, so you can use this pose, here we are, for any of those costumes. There you go. So now let's zoom in and let's get started with actual drawing the Spider-Man Noir. Actually, you know, before we start even drawing the Noir costume, I'm actually going to make this head a little bit bigger, just because I kind of realized that the head looks too small for the size of the body that I drew. So pay close attention, you guys, to your drawings as well. A lot of artists like to draw Spider-Man's head a little bit big. Mark Bagley, for example, if you guys follow Mark Bagley's work, he's an artist for Spider-Man and for other Marvel properties, but mainly known for Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man. He did all of those. His name is Mark Bagley. Anyway, he likes to draw big Spider-Man heads, so that's what I'm trying to do here. There you go, because it kind of looks better on Spider-Man to have a big head. Okay, there you go. So let's start with the head. I'm gonna zoom in, and now let's kind of draw the goggles and all that stuff that makes Spider-Man Noir. Now, at the time of the release of this video that I'm making here, Spider-Man hasn't come out yet. I'm actually going to draw like these big bug eyes, like this. So they're not the Spider-Man eyes that we know of. They're more like goggles, and you guys can see that they're kind of oval shaped, and they kind of point this way and this way, right? Like this and like this. Okay, so there you go. Try to get that as best as you can, you guys. Anyways, I was saying the time of release of this video, Spider-Man for the PS4 hasn't come out yet, so we don't have a huge, I didn't have a lot of images of Spider-Man Noir from the PS4 game, but there were a lot of Spider-Man Noir images from like Shattered Dimensions, so that's kind of what I'm also basing this off of, is the design from Shattered Dimensions, the other Spider-Man game. Okay, there you go. Now we're going to turn it into goggles, so let's do that. I'm going to first start right here. Okay, you see how there's like a wide gap at the top. I'm drawing the inside goggles now. Okay, so I kind of drew this corner and this corner, so the inside corners. Now here are the outside corners, and you'll notice that I'm bringing it closer to the edge. Okay. So it sort of creates this ring almost. It looks like a tube. Okay, and then right here I'm going to draw just a small little sliver like this, and a small sliver from here, kind of a half circle going down like that. And then this time now, small sliver right here and here. So what we're essentially doing is creating these rings, so it doesn't look like oval anymore. It looks like goggles that have been that we're looking at from the side, from the top, kind of. There you go. So those are the goggles, and then the elastic in between, right there, and then the elastic from here going towards the ears. Don't really see much of it, but I'm just going to do that. So now it looks like a guy wearing goggles, right? And that's what we want. Okay, right here, we're going to follow that same straight line going up. Now, the thing with Spider-Man Noir's head is that it's made of leather that's been stitched together. So there you go. And then kind of like the classic Spider-Man, we got that. Okay, and then here and here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines coming from the center of the nose, or the center of the eyes here, branching out and then rounding symmetrically into each other. Now, the head itself is not round, so I'm going to kind of erase that, and I'm going to make it a little bit like edged. It's got like corners here and here. There you go. Don't make it too pointy at the top either. There you go. So there's our noir look right there. And then start here. This is the stitching. And then here, just keep the, whatever you do on one side, you do on the other. So there's 3 here. I'm going to draw 3 on this side, 2 here. I'm going to draw 2 on this side. There you go. So there is our Spider-Man Noir mask. All right, now the lower part. I'm going to bring it down like this, but what I'm going to do, and kind of what it looks like, is I'm going to draw a bit of a shadow here for the nose. Okay, but what it looks like is, it looks like there's some stitching from the goggles going down, here. Okay, just very faint, and if I were to ink this, these lines would be faint lines. Okay, and then the chin, I'm also going to draw a line going across for the chin. So let me just fix the chin a little bit, make it a little pointy, and then I'm just going to draw like this line going across right here, because I think that's what the design looks like in the game. There you go. So there is our Spider-Man Noir head right there. Okay, there you go. Now let's zoom out. Oh yeah, let's add like 1, 2, 3, 4 lines there, and then 1, 2, 3, and then 4 lines there. That sort of just creates the glare on the goggles there, makes it look like it is made of glass, right? So there we have it. Now let's draw the, he wears like this leather vest. So let's do that. Let's do the leather vest. I'm gonna start right here. I'm gonna cut right through the shoulder. Okay, right through the shoulder right here. Okay, this goes up and goes to that point, creating like this layer just above the shoulder here. So I'm going to erase the shoulder. You guys can see it looks like a vest. Okay, now we've got our belt here. We're going to keep that belt line. But what we're going to do is we're going to give it some padding. Okay, so if you guys follow my Fortnite tutorials, anytime something loose gets tightened by a belt or a strap, you're left with these like kind of muffin tops. Okay, so these kinds of folds, they billow out to the side like this, and then from here just bring it up like that. Okay, so wider than the actual torso itself. Okay, there you go. So I can erase this. Kind of, I'm not erasing it completely, because we still kind of do need the chest line. You want to make sure you have the chest line. There you go. So we've got the vest going on now. And for the vest, I'm going to draw this line just underneath the chin. It actually is covered by the chin somewhat. Line there. And then from here, this goes down to the belt. And here, this goes down to the belt as well. And as you guys can see, as you go down, it's not quite straight. It sort of zigzags. There you go. Now find a spot here and here. We're going to draw the collar. This goes out and this way, so it sort of makes this upside down V shape there. Okay, now this one bring up like this, so it's going to be for the neck, or this is like the collar part of the costume, right? Okay, so from here now bring this way, so you've got this collar popping out. And the same thing here, from here going out this way. So now you've got these 2 collars sticking out like that. Okay, 2 circles here, those are buttons of some sort. We're going to draw 4, so 2 down here, and then just evenly space it out. 1 here and here. So here and here. So just space it out as best as you can. Of course, it doesn't have to be perfect because he is bent over, and when you bend over, things are off. Okay, there you go. Okay, some stitching right there and here. So that's a seam. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another pencil, and for every edge, I'm going to double up on the line there and here as well. So those are the edges. All right, here's an edge, so I'm going to double that line so it looks like it's leather and stitched together. Okay, here. So I'm making those lines 2 lines instead. Okay, there you go. And as far as like the folding is concerned, I'm going to minimize the amount of folds in the fabric, but I will add some key ones. So here's 2 key ones right here, kind of where the chest kind of sticks or it comes up right there. So I'm going to add these lines, and then right here maybe just the way that it folds like that, and then maybe right here as well, some folding like this, and then for the most part we are good. Okay, right at the center of the buckles, right at the center of the belt is the buckle. I'm gonna make the belt a little bit thicker. Okay, and then 2 rectangles here and here. All right, that's good. And then, okay, belt loop here, belt loop on this side, again, symmetrical, right? And he does have, Spider-Man does have like these pockets here, or what do you call it? They're pouches, belt pouch. So I'm just going to draw them as rectangles, but nothing more. I'm not adding too much detail into it. So there you go. And then what I'm going to do is draw a circle right there, just in the middle of those 2. And actually, let's draw one here as well, and here as well. So that is the most that we'll do with the belt. Cool. Now let's do the arms. Arms are fairly easy. Let's erase some of those lines. Let's get the bicep kind of looking right, and the shoulder as well, including the, you know, like the definition of each. It is a little bit of a skin-tight costume, so it does show some muscle. So there you go. And I added an extra line here so that we know that it's fabric. Okay, as far as the hand is concerned, we've got the hand. We're just gonna have to like bring the wrist up, and then I'm gonna draw 2 lines for right here for the wristband. So it just looks like that. And then the actual, it actually wraps around the arm like that. So there's a wristband. There you go. Okay, now what we're going to do is, it's kind of similar to Spider-Man's stripes, Spider-Man's costume, where you've got stripes going down the arm, but no webbing. It's just going to be this pinstripe. That, if you guys can kind of tell, it also defines the shape, or it creates an illusion of muscle just by the way that it bends. There you go. And we're done with the arm. Fairly easy. Okay, and then same thing with the other arm. So again, define those muscles. I'm going to erase the center, just erase those guidelines, define those muscles. Right here, especially, and then the shoulder separating the bicep, the line that separates the bicep and the shoulder, I mean. Okay? And then here on the wrist, wristband wraps around the wrist like this. There you go. Now some lines. There you go. Start with the center line and just work beside it. There you go. So that is the upper body of Spider-Man Noir. The lower body isn't too hard. So let's get started. What we're going to work on first is the boots. So I'm going to cut off right here. This is where the boots actually begin here, and then right here, kind of in the middle of the calf muscle, right there. Okay, and then we'll take a look, make sure you're cutting it at the same spot on both sides. So it looks like this is a little bit narrower, so if you guys look from here to here and here to here, this needs to go down a little bit, or this one a little higher. Let me actually bring this one a little bit higher. There. nothing too major. Okay, so let's do the boots. We're gonna start off by drawing the Spider-Man Noir does have a strap, kind of mid, or not mid boot, but like on the upper part of the boot right here. So that's a strap. And then strap right here. Okay, there you go. And there you go. Okay, now the front of the foot is going to be right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the front and the side of the foot. So here's the front of the foot, and then here's the side right here. Okay, and then I'm going to find the sole. Here's the sole. Imagine like military combat boots. So you got the bottom sole first, looks like that. And then you got the front sole, kind of runs along the front here, just like this. Okay, I'm not going to make mine pointy, I'm actually going to make it flatter in the front. Looks more like boots that way, which I believe, like in a lot of the games, Spider-Man Noir is known for his stealth, and to be honest, like having these boots, military style boots, is not the best for stealth. So let me know if you guys can explain that to me. I would love to know. All right, now right here, there's like that part of the boot there, right at the heel. It's like a cut of the leather there and here. And then shoelaces from here go down, zigzagging here where it sort of changes directions and goes to the front. Okay, now same thing on the other side. So all the way to the top there. All right, there you go, and a little bit of the heel. There you go. So there's the boot right there. And we do the same thing on this side. Zigzags here where it changes direction. And there you go. Okay, and then bring this way to the top, all the way to the top like that. Okay, and then all we gotta do now, you guys, is zigzag. Let me zoom in. We do some zigzag lines for the shoelaces. So these are like, you gotta be patient with these. It's just a bunch of X's that go all the way to the top. Okay, so just keep going. Okay, underneath this strap, all the way to the top like that. And I'm not gonna draw a shoelace or anything. I'm just going to assume that it's also, there's a strap that's keeping it together here. So there you go. And then you do the same thing on the other side. Start with a line and then start making those X's. Drawing can get pretty tedious, but this isn't the worst, you know? There. So that's good. And then just close this off. There is our other boot. So now we've got the boots. Let's zoom out and let's do the legs. So here is what our Spider-Man is looking like right now. We're almost finished, you guys. We just got to finish, complete a couple more things, the pants, and then we're done. Okay, so here we have the pants and then the thighs. Let's draw the crotch area. And the crotch, you got to be kind of sensitive with the crotch because you don't want to create like inappropriate folding that makes things look what they're not supposed to be. I don't know if you guys catch my drift. Okay, so right here, for example, here is like the what do you call it? The when you have the pants in the front, they do this, right? So that's what we're trying to do. So you got to be very careful with how you draw it. You don't want it to look like things that it's not supposed to. Okay, I'm sure you guys know what I'm trying to say. There you go. And bring it all the way down like this. even now, like I'm being very careful about it. Okay, right here. You know what? I'm not gonna bother bringing it down, so I'm just gonna leave it like that, and that's fine. All right. Now let's go to this side here, and the pants actually tuck into the boot, and where it tucks in is kind of loose. So I'm going to create like this, billowing out of the fabric like this. Okay, so sort of looks like that. And like Spider-Man Noir's pants aren't exactly tight either, so you know, just creating a little bit more loose fabric around. There you go. So just not drawing the full, you know, the full thigh shape, but you're creating like these bumps where it kind of looks like there's some loose fabric happening, like right here. Okay, and then over here, same thing. There you go. And then here comes out. Maybe not to that extreme. I'm gonna bring it in a little bit more. There you go. There you go. So by doing that, you're creating this effect that the, you know, the pants are looser. Okay, there you go. And then let's draw the lines going out or coming down from the belt, because it's pinstripes coming down from the belt like this. Okay, and then from here now, let's start with this one. I'm gonna go down the center, right there. Okay, here, going center of the thigh to about there. Okay, and then now this part, and then this part right here. So just followed up, and you're just creating these pinstripes like this. Okay, and then they go down the knee like that. So here's where they're sort of going down the knee, and then we come around, and as you go down where the fabric is kind of folding, you kind of want to draw the lines kind of like, you know, when you get here, the fabric is bunched up, so it creates like this pattern. Okay, same thing here. So when you bring it down, once you get to this loose fabric, make those stripes more zigzaggy. There. And then just continue. There. Now if I were to ink this, I would ink it using thin pen or thin nib, not thick. Okay? And then just keep going. So I sort of changed directions now. And the curve, you guys can probably see the curve is sort of changing as well. Okay. And there you go. There is our Spider-Man Noir pants. And I believe the PS4 game, there's like the inside lining of these pants are a little different, so you want to keep that in mind as well. I did forget a few things. Number one, right here, he wears a turtleneck, and from the turtleneck there's some like stripes coming down. Here's my little reference photo. So he wears a turtleneck, and then from the turtleneck you got these stripes coming out. So that's what this is. Okay, so draw that. Be sure to do that. Also, it looks like from my other reference photo, this is from the actual Spider-Man PS4 game. There you go. It looks like he's got this strap right here. So let's draw that in. And yeah, it looks like he's got a little pouch here, maybe for a gun. So let's draw a strap right here. And it's not that big of a deal to draw it. Literally just like that, and then just erase the center of it. Okay. And then right here, just kind of draw the fabric a little bit, reacting to that strap a little bit. And that's it. Okay, so zooming out, there you guys is our Spider-Man Noir. And I don't think we left anything out. I think we're good. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial, you guys. More Spider-Man PS4 skins or costumes coming up, so definitely stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in my next tutorial. Take care. And that is all the time that we have today. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the very end of this video. I hope your drawings turned out great. If they did, I would love to see them. So please head on over to the Google Plus community, post your artwork there for people to enjoy, or post it on Instagram and tag me at draw2 so that I can see your artwork. If you are curious about the equipment that I use to make my videos or to do my tutorials, I have a list of that in the description of this video, so make sure to check that out there. I have a list of pencils that I use, camera equipment, erasers, colors, and all that stuff. So definitely check it out if you are interested. If you guys did enjoy this tutorial, it would help me a great deal if you, number one, like this video, comment it down below, share this with your friends in social media, and of course, subscribe. All of that in the description of this video. Make sure to check that out. And speaking of social media, don't forget you guys can find me on Facebook, on Instagram, Google+, and most importantly on my website draw2.com, where you can download a free coloring page of this tutorial right here. Links again in the description, so always make sure to read that description, you guys. And once again, thank you so much for watching this video. I will catch you in the next one, and till then, stay tuned for more so you can learn to draw too. Take care.